Hi everyone. I needed some more cards, or I wanted to make some. I don't know if I really needed them, but someone asked how I did these, so I'll say this one is for you in case you wanted some more detail. So what I've done is I took a 9 by 12 piece of watercolor paper, only for the thickness, and I want to just drop some color in. I think what I'm going to do is just spray a little bit of water, and I've already put some water in my watercolors, so I'm just going to drop in some color. I'm not really concerned with them looking great at this moment because we're just making backgrounds, and so just playing around today. And the fun comes after everything's dried. For me, that's the fun part, when you can add things. And two, I want them to have like a variety of things going on. Accidentally grabbed a really red one. Purplish. I'm more into orange and browns, I guess. Let's see what happens there. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up mopping up some of this water because I think I got too much. I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of a mustardy yellow color, and I always love that one. It's not too clean, it's not too bright, it's just to me that's what a background should be. It's kind of natural looking, like dirt. I don't know, that's what I gravitate to. So yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of brush you use. Also, I have so much green in there, I want to break that up a bit. Maybe take some of that out. I'm not an expert by any means. I just like to play with colors. The reason I have the washi tape is because I'm going to cut these up into these little cards later on, like I did already. Last time I did this, I think I used ink, but the time before that I used watercolors. I just felt the watercolor ones were a bit more colorful than the ink, and that was probably because I diluted the ink too much, but there you have it. I just keep going. Sometimes purple and brown can look really nice depending on the shades, I guess. And two, if these turn out ugly, I don't have to use them. Okay, so I'm just gonna Keep doing a few more here. My water's kind of, in some places it's dried up already. I see some puddles. Maybe I can transfer some color. The more colors, the merrier. Oh, I really like the ones, these over here. Kind of green and brown mixed together. So then after they're dry, I'm going to stamp on them, write on them, spritz some gold on them. I first got this idea from Michelle at the Creative Cove. I've linked her before. Haven't seen her do this in a bit, but I think once you do this and you get pretty results at the end, and I think you will get pretty results if you don't stop. Like right now it looks like a hot mess, but I think in the end it will. I think it's gonna look great. And too, if it's too dry, just add some water. You know the old saying, just add water. And then you can go back in and play some more. Remember when we were kids, it was a treat for us to be able to play with water, probably because we lived in a really dry place, so anything with water was a treat anyways. But alright, I'm gonna dry this with a heat gun and then I'll be back. Close enough, okay? Alright, so the reason I used the washi tape is because I didn't want the inside line to be as thick as the tape here. This is painter's tape. And so, as you see, it dried quite light. I'm okay with that. Sometimes you're going to want light cards, sometimes you're going to want darker ones. So, then my favorite ink to use for stamping this stuff is the dark brown, which is my espresso. Excuse my reach. And my go-to thing to stamp for these is always butterflies. Always, always. Okay, so just get some ink on there, and then I like to kind of split them up somehow, like that way. That way you're not getting a whole butterfly on one, but you're getting the hint of butterfly on all of them. And two, sometimes you want more, and sometimes you want less. And this washi tape is gonna look great afterwards with all the, I know, some of you guys don't like grunge, but I tell ya, it can be a lot of fun. So this washi tape's gonna go in my grunge look. So I hope I got my painting dry enough. Let's not drop it. And two, last time I used different butterfly, a smaller one. I might come back and do that yet. Because you can't have too much butterfly, right? Okay, excuse me while I dig out my little butterfly. And then if I need more, I'm just gonna switch to a leaf. Why would I need to just stick with butterflies? All right, good question is, do I want to change the ink? I think I might want to try the, what's that one called again? Vintage Photo. So try one over here that doesn't have very much. There, that's pretty light. Maybe split that one up too. Two, if you don't leave it on there very long, it might not get as dark. And just a little bit in that corner there. I think I'm still going to switch it to a leaf. Just happen to have one. I grab this one a lot. And this one, I'm gonna go back to the dark. You don't have to stamp on it. You could draw on it instead. You could stencil on it. Probably wait till it's dry, like I tried to do. So I'm gonna draw on it after. And anyways, so just to add another element. Not sure if I draw. It might be dry enough to draw. I think I'm gonna go with my bold pen this time. So some of these are kind of probably still a little bit wet, so I'm just gonna start. I don't want to transfer any wet ink across the page. There we go. Okay, so first I think I'm just gonna draw like a vine. I picked this pen now because I thought it would be nice to have something thinner because the butterflies are quite dark. And then maybe the writing. And I don't know, I kind of think that's a little too light. Alright, so done that writing that I wanted to do. And now it wouldn't be my project if I did not put some gold on it. And my first go-to is always the watercolor. And I get to splatter, which is always fun too. Try to get some on the actual cards and not just on the washi tape. And two, you could also spatter more of the other colors on there if you wanted to not have them so light. But I like a lot of gold, and I think that shows up really nice. I need a little more water. The watercolors I use are, I think they're called Magic Fly. My palette is very messy, so I don't generally show my palette in videos because, well, for one thing, it's quite large, and because I'm limited with room here, I mean, they're not special, they're not expensive, they're just relatively, you know, they were what I could afford when I bought them, so I still like them and I use them. In fact, I think I miss doing more watercolor, even though I wouldn't say I'm great at it. And more water. So then these have to dry again. And then I will take the tape off. And then I will cut them apart and then I will ink them. And I think I'm actually gonna maybe try some light green yet. Just feel like some of these can use a little extra. Obviously not as much as the gold. It's the lightest green I can find in my palette. Try not to get it on everything, but it does happen. All right, I think I'm happy with that. So yeah, you want to know what it looks like after, right? The big reveal. Yeah, so these make excellent little cards to put in pockets. They make great tuck spots in your journal. I've used them in cards I've made. You could use them wherever you think to. Put them in your wallet. Leave them with your tips when you go to a restaurant. If you still go to restaurants. We don't really go to restaurants anymore, but if you were leaving a tip somewhere, or I know somebody that goes grocery shopping and they're always leaving the gospel. You could also laminate these. That's an idea. Would have to laminate them after you ink them if you want to ink them. I'll have to dry this again because there's still wet spots. Okay, I was just thinking, you know, if you were the sewing type, these would look really cool with some sewing on them, maybe some borders. I think some of these would look good even with just like a line. Just to emphasize the border a little bit. There, I think that adds something. I might do more of that later. Too, you know, there's other ways of making a border. You could do like and because I'm actually going to cut them in the white, so the border of this is actually going to show. I was just thinking you could do like dots, like right on the edge. And two, you could go all the way around. I don't know, just thinking of different stuff. Don't always like to have them look the same. Little variations, I think, help. And two, you play around with them and then you find what you like. And as you play, you find out what you like. Yeah, I don't know if I love it, but I tried something, and I think I like this, except this one might be a little too thin, although it's kind of thready looking. So anyways, I'm going to keep working on the borders, and then I'll show you the reveal at the end, what they look like all cut up. How's that? So I decided S's with dots in the middle would be okay for a border on some of these. You can get creative. I could have stamped a border if I'd have thought of it sooner. But I think the hand made look works as well, depending on the look you're going for. Still also like the outlining. And I did switch back to my Sharpie. I just felt it was a little bit darker, and that's what I was missing on my edges. So like that. Then I'm gonna take my trimmer. Wouldn't have to use a trimmer, but I do kind of like a straightish edge. So then I just cut right in the middle between the, or I try anyways. My trimmer's not the sharpest, so it leaves a little bit of a frayed edge, which is kind of nice too. Alright, so I have, I think 16 cards. They're mostly the same size. Aren't they pretty? And I haven't inked them yet. That's coming next. So, I ink them with for different looks. I'll try the dark one. Oh, and last time I also rounded the edges. Don't have to do that, of course, but I don't know, I think these look so nice when they're done. Even if at first, you put the color down and they don't look very good, by the time you're finished with them and done everything that you want to do, I think they look amazing. And they look like, I don't know, little pieces of art. Can I say that? And too, they would look totally different if you use different stamps. And certainly you could use different sayings. A lot of people find me quite boring because all I seem to have on my brain is anything Jesus related, but I can't help it. He bought me. He paid for me. He's got me. I'm his. So, not gonna apologize for that. Alright, let's see. Is there anything else that has like a different background? Where'd that purple one go? There's one with blue. More brown. Here's the purple one. And too, the ink helps if you really want to take away a white edge on something. Love that. Okay, so that's kind of it. I mean, not each and every one of them is a masterpiece, but I think they look great, and I think they are easy enough to do that, you know, anybody could enjoy these and get a lot out of it. So, all right, I'm going to leave that with you today, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.